Ever feel like you are constantly almost there? You work hard, you are disciplined, you learn, you plan, and yet real breakthrough success always seems just out of reach. Not failure, not stagnation, but this frustrating middle ground where progress exists, but fulfillment does not. It feels like chasing a mirage. Every time you think you are close, the finish line moves a little further away, and the most confusing part is that from the outside, it looks like you should already be successful. This experience is more common than people admit. Many intelligent, capable individuals spend years living in what we might call almost success, almost confident, almost financially stable, almost recognized, almost satisfied. It creates a quiet tension that never fully resolves. You are not failing badly enough to quit, but you are not winning clearly enough to feel at peace. Over time, this state becomes exhausting, even demoralizing. Most people assume the reason must be external. Maybe the market is unfair, maybe the timing is wrong, maybe someone else had an advantage. While external factors do matter, they are rarely the main reason this pattern persists for years. If effort and intelligence alone created success, many more people would already be living the lives they want. Something deeper is at work. What if the real obstacle is not a lack of discipline or motivation, but subtle psychological traps operating quietly in the background? Cognitive biases that shape how you think, decide, and act without you even noticing. These traps do not stop you outright. Instead, they slow you down just enough to keep you stuck in the almost zone, close enough to hope, far enough to never fully arrive. In this video, we are going to uncover these hidden psychological traps, not the obvious ones, but the subtle, insidious patterns that make progress feel real while secretly preventing transformation. Once you see them clearly, something changes, because awareness does not just explain the problem. It creates the first real opening for escape. One of the most powerful traps behind almost success is what psychologists call progress illusion. This happens when actions feel productive without producing meaningful results. Planning, researching, tweaking, optimizing, and preparing can all feel like progress. Your brain rewards these activities with a sense of control and competence. Dopamine is released, motivation feels alive, but the uncomfortable truth is that none of these actions guarantee movement toward the finish line. Progress illusion is dangerous because it replaces execution with motion. You are busy but not effective. You are moving but not advancing. Over time, your brain begins to associate preparation with achievement. This makes it harder to take the riskier steps that actually create change, such as shipping imperfect work, asking for opportunities, or committing publicly to a direction. Another trap is the comfort of near wins. Research shows that being close to success can be more motivating than being far away, but only in the short term. In the long term, near wins can lock you into repeating the same strategies over and over. If something almost works, your brain assumes it just needs a little more effort, a little more patience, a little more refinement. So you stay on the same path even when it is clearly not leading where you want to go. This creates a psychological loop. You try, you almost succeed, you adjust slightly, you try again. The pattern feels rational, but it slowly traps you in diminishing returns. The problem is not that you are bad at improving. The problem is that you are improving within a system that is fundamentally limiting you. There is also the identity trap. When you have invested years into being the person who is almost successful, that identity starts to feel safe. Letting go of it means facing uncertainty. Real success would demand new expectations, new risks, and new levels of visibility. Subconsciously, your mind may resist crossing the line because staying almost successful allows you to protect your self-image. You can still believe in your potential without fully testing it. These traps work together. Progress illusion keeps you busy. Near wins keep you hopeful. Identity protection keeps you cautious. None of them feel like self-sabotage. They feel reasonable, responsible, smart, and that is exactly why they are so effective. Another subtle psychological force at play is loss aversion. Humans are wired to fear losses more than they value gains. This means the pain of losing what you already have feels stronger than the pleasure of gaining something new. When you are almost successful, you usually have something to protect: a reputation, stability, a sense of competence. Taking the final leap toward real success often requires risking these things. As a result, people unconsciously choose safer options that maintain their current position rather than bold moves that could elevate them. They negotiate for incremental improvements instead of transformative opportunities. They stay in familiar roles instead of stepping into uncomfortable leadership. On the surface, these choices look practical. Underneath, they reinforce the same ceiling. There is also the trap of delayed clarity. Many people believe that once they think a little more, research a little more, or wait a little longer, everything will suddenly become clear. But clarity often comes after action, not before it. Waiting for perfect certainty creates paralysis disguised as patience. You are not stuck because you lack insight. You are stuck because insight feels safer than commitment. At this point, an important question emerges. If these traps are so subtle, how do you know whether you are genuinely building toward success or simply circling it? One clue is emotional. Almost success often comes with chronic frustration rather than excitement. You feel tired instead of energized. You feel busy instead of fulfilled. Progress feels heavy instead of meaningful. Breaking free does not require working harder. It requires working more honestly. That means asking uncomfortable questions about which actions actually move the needle and which ones only protect your comfort. It means noticing when improvement becomes avoidance. It means recognizing that staying almost successful is not neutral. It is a choice reinforced daily by small decisions. So ask yourself this: if nothing changed for the next 5 years, would your current strategy realistically lead to the life you want, or would it simply make you better at staying almost there? Escaping the almost success trap starts with redefining progress. Real progress is not about feeling productive. It is about creating irreversible movement, actions that cannot be undone. Decisions that force adaptation, commitments that remove the option to retreat comfortably. These are the steps your mind resists most, which is precisely why they matter. Another key shift is separating identity from outcome. You are not your current level of success. Letting go of the almost identity does not mean you lose your value. It means you stop using potential as a substitute for results. When your self-worth is no longer tied to staying safe, risk becomes easier to tolerate. It also helps to design friction intentionally, make comfort harder and action easier, reduce endless planning, set deadlines that matter, share goals publicly. These constraints limit your ability to hide in preparation mode and push you into real-world feedback, where growth actually happens. Finally, accept that crossing the finish line often feels anticlimactic at first. Real success is not always dramatic. Sometimes it is quiet, uncomfortable, and disorienting, but it is real. And once you step into it, the psychological noise of almost success begins to fade. If this video resonated with you, take a moment to reflect on where you might be confusing movement with progress. Awareness is not the finish line, but it is the doorway. If you found value here, consider subscribing to the channel for more calm, evidence-based insights into human behavior and psychology. And in the comments, share your thoughts. Where do you feel stuck in almost success, and what is one small but irreversible action you could take to move beyond it?